YouTubers. Today I'm going to talk to you about the second principle, the second rule of the software engineering manifesto, which is the perfect software. The more you work with different software development teams, the more you experiment with the engineering slash development mentality, you will come across a certain pattern where people that actually influence the design and the planning of software, which is making it perfect. A while back I was in one of those meetings, and a developer stood up and said, we stopped all the feature work and we took 3 months to make our software perfect. So I asked that gentleman a question. I said, so is your software perfect today? He took a long pause and he said, there are some things that we need to fix. This proves a point of, every time you hear someone talk about software, a perfect software, it's basically a mirage. It's not a real thing. There's no such a thing as perfect software. Don't ever think that there's anything such as perfect software. What there is actually, however, there is experiences. These experiences that you provide to the end user, they have a very high value at the deployment time when the user is using it for the first time, and then the more time goes, these experiences decline because people continue to come up with better experiences, faster software, faster technologies, better patterns. So what we should be talking about, instead of talking about perfect software, we should talk about a perfect or a better experience to the end user. And it's very centralized around the person who is going to use the software rather than the software itself. In that sense, when you provide a perfect experience or a better experience for the end user, you have to keep in mind that this is something that is eventually, the more time goes, it doesn't matter how fast or slow, it declines, and you need to maintain that experience and maintain that level of usability. Take cell phones, for instance. Our cell phones, when they first started, they didn't have a lot of capabilities. They didn't have colors on the screen. It was pretty much black and white, and they only could send text messages, no apps, nothing. And the more time goes, these cell phones keep evolving. Right now we have the folding phones, even though these ones are breaking these days, but there is this continuous search and continuous work for a better experience and more innovative capabilities for the end user. My recommendation for every engineer out there is that I understand that your software needs to be right? You need to make it perfect, whatever your definition of perfect is, but don't let that stop you from going hand in hand with the development of new feature and pushing for new experiences, right? This should be something that goes hand in hand with your development. There is no such a thing. The worst thing you could ever do is to stop the feature work and just start fixing your software and maintaining your software. That means that you're generating no business value whatsoever. Now, unless you don't have any requirements coming in, which would be very interesting, that you're not continuously trying to think of better ways and better patterns to improve your software. Unless that's the case, then you have no reason whatsoever to stop the development of your project and go back. Like Uncle Bob says, one of the things he says, follow the Boy Scout rules, which is, when you find something, leave it better than you found it, right? Leave it better than you found. So you are continuously providing better experiences to both the end users and the developers, not just the end users. Your software should also think about the end user, the developers that are going to look at it. It should be pretty inside and out. It should be pretty inside and out, not just on the outside, but also provide a good documentation, separation of concern, follow the solid patterns, sit down and explain what your software is doing from a high-level perspective, patterns and architecture, and down to the code level. That's how you provide better experiences. The end note here is building software is not a one-time thing, right? It's a style of life. You know, you're intelligently tackling certain problems in life and intelligently trying to solve certain issues, you know, in the software and your life in general. And intelligently meaning that you have to interact with people to understand how to provide better experiences. How can an engineer provide better experiences for people if they don't interact with people? Get out of these offices, get out of these little cocoons that you work in, and try to interact with at least a person every day for at least an hour or so you get to understand what people's concerns are, not just engineers, end users, people who use software on a daily basis. There are so many of these today because everyone in the world, over 3 billion people in the world, use the software and the internet today. Interact with people, try to learn from them what they like, what they don't like, so you can have this touch, this understanding of what a better experience is. There is no way you will be able to have a valuable input on the user experience if you don't interact with users. You have to meet the users that use your software and understand what they want and understand what they like and what they don't like. When they feel that you're listening to their feedback and you're actually including their input in writing your software, things change dramatically and your software become better. That'll be all. If you have any comment, question, or concerns, feel free to drop a comment in the comment section. Agree, disagree. Let me know what you think about this, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Thank you for watching.